friends, this is a book called The Mitten by Jan Brett. It's one of my favorite authors. We've read some books from her before. She's got some really good picture clues on the edges of her pages. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as the snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and so finally Baba made them. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will look to see if you're safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you have your snow white mittens. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. Oh no, you can barely see it right there in the snow. It's camouflaged in the white. Look at the picture clue. I wonder what the first animal that we're going to see in this story is. A mole, tired from tunneling, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. Can you see the mole in the mitten back there? It's a really little picture. Right there, there's that mole. Found the mitten. Okay, and we have another picture clue here on the side. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled right in, feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw that rabbit's big kickers, he moved right over. See the rabbit? And there's our next picture clue. I wonder what could be coming next. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. Our next picture clue, friends. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by all the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in, the rabbit and the hedgehog grumbled, but when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Okay, so now the rabbit, the mole, and the hedgehog are all in there. Do you think there's going to be room for the owl? Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw that badger's diggers, they gave him the thumb. Wow, that mitten must be really stretched out, friends. There's our next picture clue. What do you think's coming next? It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox, trotting by, stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. Wow, do you think that mitten can stretch any more? Oh my goodness, look at our next picture clue. What could be coming next? A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten and all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be, but what animal could argue with a bear? You think he'll fit in there, boys and girls? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held fast. My goodness, here's our next picture clue. What animal could be coming next? Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wiggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable right on top of that great bear's nose. There she is, right there. That little mouse on top of the bear. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Ha, 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 choo! And the force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten, silhouetted against the blue sky. You see his mitten up there? It went flying up when all of those animals went flying out. As he ran to catch his snow white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she looked to see if he had his snow white mittens. Look at Baba's face looking at those mittens. Do you think she's confused? Because one of the mittens is so big. How did that mitten get so big, friends? And that's the story of the mitten, retold by Jan Brett.